Bang, bang. Here we go. Another major, the PGA Championship. Our boy Price is on a heater. Our showdown lineups are also on heaters. We have been smashing at above a 70% clip on the year. So if you haven't, check us out at dfsdads.com. But we are here for the major. So we're going to give you the players we like, the players we don't like, and also get into the stats we like. Now, for a further breakdown of some of the conditions and about this course, go on over. Also, check out our first look. We're going to go over some of that now, but we got to rewind a little bit for our boy Price, who just had a very good week, and he has a ticket punch for the 4444 Millie Maker this week. Give us a little background about this week for you.
Oh man, dude. We were joking right before we hopped on about how often are you going to see someone who's freaking irate about winning 16 grand, but needed one more birdie from Sammy Burns. Would have got me about another $20,000 plus two more tickets to the 4444. Really good week. I attacked, Sam Burns and Berger were the two guys who I really went after this past week because I thought they'd be low owned. They were. Berger was 10%. Burns was like 8% owned, and they both top fived. So, I mean, it's spots like that where I attacked there. I hit on my cheap guys. Everybody made the cut when it was, I think only 8% of people got 6 of 6 through. So one of those weeks where it almost all aligned on midway, almost at the end of Saturday until Spieth chipped in for eagle. I was cashing like $65,000. And then I had a feeling something wouldn't work, and it turned out to be like my favorite golfer of all time, Scotty fucking Scheffler, just shits the bed today. But overall, really good week. I mean, you can't complain when you win that much money. Got a free entry into the big Millie.
I've heard you complain all day.
All fucking day, I know. And the worst was the coverage. How are you a multi-billion-dollar a year organization? You can't have this on fucking television anywhere.
It's a joke.
It's unreal.
The only good thing is when the Masters comes around, because the app is so damn good, but golf is so far behind. It's really bad. But let's get to this week. We got a big tournament here, the PGA Championship. We are in South Carolina, I believe 20, 30 miles away from Charleston, called the Ocean Course, right? 7,800 yards, par 72, a Pat Dye course. If it's not windy, these players, even at 7,800 yards, is going to be pretty straightforward and easy, and they are going to smash the course. But if the wind picks up, which it's an ocean course, the wind's going to pick up, it's going to be hell. Now, the winner here last time this PGA Championship was in 2012. Rory McIlroy won, going away by 8 shots. It was Tiger Wood-esque. But don't look too far into that. That was almost a decade ago. That was peak Rory too. But we got a couple other storylines coming in here as well. Jordan Spieth going for his career Grand Slam. He is playing really good golf as well. Kawa, he's the defending champion, so we'll see how he does. So I'm excited. There are a few metrics to get into. We'll give you a few that we're looking at. Good drives. Personally, I like scrambling. Driving distance, definitely, because it's a 7,800 yard course. It's, I think, 150 to 175 yards longer than any other major in the history of golf. So this course can be a beast, especially if the wind picks up. And if the wind picks up, it could be a course that brings in the short hitters, and the winning score is going to be, between 5 under and 8 under, as opposed to, anything in the double digits. And the last little tidbit here before we get into the golfers we like is the Golf Digest said they declared the Ocean Course as the most difficult in the country. So it's going to be a fun week at 78, 76 yards. Let's have some fun. All right, let's start up top. We're going to start at the top at a range that we like, from 10K and above. So Jordan Spieth all the way up to the defending champion from 2012, Rory McIlroy. We'll let
I'll tell you who I don't.
Dustin go.
Tell you who I don't like. and it's crazy to say, but DJ. 10-9. Do what, Bryce?
Is he your fade of the week again?
I mean, I don't want to do that. Last time he won like 3 tournaments in a row, I faded him. But he's just not been playing good, man. Like his approach game's been crappy. He's been erratic off the tee. Around the green hasn't been good. So of all the top guys, I actually feel less comfortable with him. And it's crazy to say, but I feel more comfortable playing Spieth than DJ this week. Even though it's a long course. That's the only kind of caveat there. But DJ's game's just not where it needs to be. So my favorite golfer actually is going to be a mix of Bryson and JT. I like Bryson for his off the tee game, how far he hits it. His around the green is pretty good. And JT, if he can just figure out that freaking putter, I mean, the dude's been god awful with the putter. I mean, he's putting like, I don't even know. He's just been terrible. Everything else has been great. So it's kind of weird. I mean, he's always up there in strokes gained approach. He's good off the tee. His playing's just been terrible of late. So I'll take a flyer on that he gets that fixed. That's usually one of the easier things, especially somebody like him. So I like JT and Bryson as my top 2.
Especially on the past palm greens that they're going to be on. They're a little bit slower, so it's it should help JT out. But I'm with you. I love Bryson this week. I think I'm going to force him into my lineup no matter what. I mean, they said he couldn't win at the U.S. Open last year, and he went out and just showed everybody it doesn't matter. He can win at any course, no matter the setup. He had a disappointing week this week. He still shot, I think, like 8, 9 under.
Yeah.
His approach was off, but, I mean, he's the best driver to the golf ball. He's a top 10 putter in the world. I mean, what more do you really want as someone who, yes, he's going to miss some fairways, but when that driver's working, I mean, that dude is unbelievable. And I feel like he just had at 10-2, he has the most upside in this range, I think.
Yeah, I mean, anytime his approach game's on, he's going to top 3. I mean, that's just kind of – I mean, if you look at over, his past 20 events, his strokes gains in pretty much every metric he gains them in every major metric, but his approach is the worst. But when he gained 5 at the Players, got 3rd, 4 at the Arnold Palmer, won that. U.S. Open, 7.5, won that. So anytime he's up there in that, he's gonna get a chance to win. So yeah, love Bryson.
Yeah, I'm with y'all on a lot of this. I would say I'm gonna fade everybody up top until Bryson and Jordan Spieth. So 10-2, 10-1. I'm gonna have a lineup with either of those, and then I'm also gonna have a lineup where I fade this range completely. In this range, I like some of the upper 7K guys, but some of the lower ones I'm not. And then the 6K range, I don't like as much for this course and this layout. So I don't want to double stack like 2 high-end guys. And there is a couple of guys there's one in particular I'm targeting the 9K. So I think I can fit my lower 9K guy with either Bryson and Jordan and then move on down. But Spieth, my case for Spieth is, look, he's not the best driver of the golf ball, but he somehow just gets it done. And he is an amazing scrambler. His around the green game is phenomenal, and he can get out of trouble. And he's a great putter of the golf ball, and he's coming into form. The narrative is there for him at 10-1. I like his. I don't mind his price point. I don't necessarily love it, but I don't hate it at all.
Hold on. You talking about Jordan Spieth?
Yeah.
The guy you've dogged for a year and a half now, 2 years. It's at 10K and you like him?
Yeah, man. You kidding me? Listen. When the data points change, he learns how to hit the golf ball again. Look, your opinion has to change. You can't quote somebody from 2017 or 2020 when he was dog shit, and now this year when he's playing good, You got to change. We got new data points. So a smart person changes their
Just making sure.
their theory. So Jordan Spieth is going to win Bryce the 4-4-4-4.
He's not going to be in my lineup, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So
actually, you know what? He might win me the 4-4-4 when he misses a cut.
So there's a lot of game theory in this, and I personally want to have one or two big time drivers of the golf ball, and focus my other four golfers with good around the green game and more of a balanced approach. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping the wind picks up. If the wind picks up, it's going to bring more players into play, and players that I'm excited to smash in the lineup that I think might be lower owned because they're not as long of golfers. So we'll see how it plays out, right? So you got to shoot your shot and hope it visually plays out the way that you're thinking, and so that's where I'm at on this top range. But Price has a good stat. I think this is a good point to bring up as well about this course. Can you elaborate on that? We talked about before.
Yeah, so we both listened to a couple other podcasts, and Mayor brought up if you miss the fairway on this golf course, statistically, you have a 32% chance of getting the green in regulation, whereas if you actually hit your drive into the fairway, you have a 67% chance. So that is a huge difference on having birdie putts instead of having to scramble for par. So that's where, yes, drivers of the golf ball are great, but you want someone who's accurate because that's going to be a huge factor as well this week.
All right, so let's get down to the 9K range. I think for the most part, like JT's up there for Dustin a little bit. Spieth and Bryson were talked pretty heavily there. Now in this 9K range, Price, go ahead, talk about our boy that we both like at 9K.
So Hovland's going to be, I think, the most popular golfer this week for ownership because he's been playing phenomenal. He's just a fantastic tee to green. He doesn't really miss cuts. I mean, he's just a stud. And so I think it's going to be tough not to play him unless you just strictly want to fade the ownership, which if you're going to strictly fade the ownership, then I would probably move up to Morikawa. It'd be one of those two. But this, I feel like, is going to be kind of a dead range because I think most people are going to attack the big boys up top. And so this won't have, besides Hovland, a lot of ownership, I don't believe. Because I think everyone else is going to get passed over on.
Yeah, I don't really like many from this range personally. I mean, Hovland's almost a must roster for me in my cash entries, but really the only other one, I mean, Morikawa obviously draws some interest, but Brooks, just because he's a major type of guy. We know how he plays in the majors. Rates pretty well. He's had some up and down. I mean, he's been up and down all year. So, he had the first place and then missed cut. So he can turn it on sometimes when he needs to. Obviously missed the cut this last week. But it's a major. So if you want to take a flyer on him, I can see you playing him in a GPP. But for me, Victor Hovland at cash is like a lock for me.
Yeah, I'm with y'all on Hovland. I know we talked before, and we're all three on Hovland. A lot of people are on Hovland. High ownership. I think if you're playing like the $20 milli, going away from Hovland is not a bad idea. But if you're playing like Price, the 4-4-4-4 or 44-44, however you want to call it, I don't play up there too much, so don't know the lingo.
Come on and hop in, bro. There's some entries available.
I don't think there's an issue playing Hovland there. But Cantlay is an interesting topic with him being at 9K. I think he's missed 4 straight cuts, not playing good golf, but his price point is, I feel like a lot of these majors at 9K range, we have rode it to victory quite a few times. So I have a little bit of intrigue with Cantlay.
No way.
I'm not going there, but I'm just saying he's a pretty elite
Him and
golfer.
me, yeah, I would. I mean,
He's a pretty elite golfer, and that price point stands out to me. His golf game right now also stands out for all the bad reasons. But I'm right there with Hovland. I usually give Xander a little bit more look and love, and at 9.6, it's not a terrible price, but I'm not on him this week. So let's move on down. What's even crazier, none of us mentioned the Masters champion, Hideki. It's like he doesn't exist. It's like, yeah, he won his one tournament. Whatever.
He's perennially a terrible putter, not necessarily a long driver. It's not a course, I don't think, for him.
If it's windy, it's not a bad course for him.
Yeah, I mean they're all, anybody 9 and up, they're all elite. I mean, they've all won plenty of tournaments, so there can be a case for all of them. So you got to look at recent form and how they play usually and what their strengths and weaknesses are.
And then you got the choker, Xander. He makes me so mad.
At least he's won. Hovland hasn't won on tour.
Well, he's also he's younger. Isn't he?
Not much.
Hovland looks like he's 12.
Yeah, he just
Hovland's in his second year.
Yeah, but he's not he did win the OHL.
That's not a real event. The Puerto Rico Open and that don't count.
It counts.
No.
Finau thinks different.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Finau range, we're back in the 8K range. Finau
the 8K range in majors is always so nasty. It's so sick all the time.
It's so good. It's so good. This 8K range, literally, I'm like, you know what? I don't mind starting my lineup with Hovland, and I don't care about ownership because I'm not going any higher, and I'm going to play all 8K guys. That's literally is what I want. Is a build that I want to make. Finau on paper with 7,800 yard course, you would think would be up there. On paper, he looks great. Where are y'all with not just Finau but this range, because it's a juicy range, like y'all said.
I mean, it's super juicy. You got Cam Smith playing great, right?
Yeah, not the longest hitter, not the best driver of the golf ball, but I'm telling you, if it's windy and still, he's playing great golf.
Talking about form, you got Will Zalatoris, obviously been on fire. Berger really played well this weekend overall, and then you got Finau, who's been freaking steady. Scotty, we're not going to talk about because price. Fitzpatrick's been freaking awesome. So it's like, man, how do you decipher who to play, right? So for me, and I haven't really gotten to lineup construction yet. I know who I like, but for me, I'm looking at that Cam Smith, Zalatoris, Berger. Gonna take a peek at Finau. I don't think he's kind of where I want to be right now, but those are the three that I like just off the bat, looking at the model, kind of their recent form, and what they've been doing. So, but man, this is stacked. This, especially the top half of this. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those guys from Scheffler up.
Berger's my favorite. I know you hate him with a passion, Chris, but
because he's awesome.
Yeah, but I like Berger. Zalatoris would be like 1A, 1B, those two, and then be Scotty and Oosthuizen would be the other two. I'm not. Yep. I don't think I'll look at Cam, but Oosty. So I'm kind of going to compare this to a Chambers Bay a little bit with it's long and difficult, which is what the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay was. I think 7,600 yards and super difficult. And so if you go look at there, like Cam Smith did well. Oosthuizen finished second. Schwartzel was up there. So you have a bunch of guys who are in this week who did well there. But I feel like Berger coming off of that fire round he had today was going to help build some momentum. And Zalatoris, who he lost almost 5 strokes putting and finished 17th. He gained 11 strokes ball striking. The dude can just hit the shit out of the ball. He just can't putt.
The problem with that is who he is, though, And
so it's the most variant aspect of anyone who play like any of these guys, their games.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take someone like that on a course where it's slow green, because slow greens help bad putters, I feel like, because you just hit the ball. You're just going to hit it harder. Whereas like Augusta, where they're undulated and super fast and super difficult, like this should be easier for someone like him. So I would say Berger and Zala would be 1A, 1B in this range for me.
I mean, Zalatoris is phenomenal in every category but putting.
Well, he puts like a idiot.
Yeah, and so it's like, man, if he just putts mediocre, especially like this last week, I mean, he's gonna be top 3, easy.
I think for the most part, we're more inclined to take bad putters, just because, like, when you have a great ball striker, all you need is a round where they do well putting, and they can just separate themselves from the field and contend.
And they have more opportunities, right?
Yes. Because even if you're a shit putter, if you're continuously hitting 15-foot birdie putts, like Vegas today, his first like 15 holes, he didn't have a single approach outside of 18 feet. Like he made four birdies out of that, but still, like you have 15 shots at birdie in a row. Like that's a big deal to have, especially in a difficult course like this.
Yeah, I agree. And on paper, when you look, you're like, all right, you like Cam Smith. I like Cam Smith. Dawson likes Cam Smith, but he's the most expensive, and players around him, from Zalatoris, Berger, even a Finau, Scheffler, are all below him.
That's a good point.
It's tough for me on my early builds. It's just tough to actually click. I click Cam Smith and I get rid of him, and click on one of the other guys. So it's tough.
No, I agree. I agree with that point, because I'm just kind of looking at it on paper, not so much building a lineup. And then when you say it, it's like, man, Zalatoris or Berger, I probably would prefer, especially on this type of course.
I think personally, to me, just really need to look into the weather. If it's going to be really windy, like I have no problem playing a Cam Smith over all those guys, especially like a Zalatoris, like a pure ball strike. Like I have no problem with it, because I do think some of that could get neglected with the high winds.
I think if it's bad wind, you just drop down to Usti, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to have more than one guy in this 8K range because it's so freaking juicy.
Charles.
Yeah, just him.
Just him.
Just him. He is the way. You know who is not the way for once? Tyrrell. I played that motherfucker every major, and I'm gonna not play him this week. And if he wins, I swear to God, I'm gonna go ballistic.
Your boy Tommy Fleetwood had a good outing last time, and he's a great scrambling of the golf ball. He's amazing around the greens. I think he's a good play at 8,200. I think he's actually a great play at 8,200.
He's a good play. I don't see myself getting to a build that has him. Personally.
I mean, one good tournament out of your past 5 doesn't make me click you.
He's pretty steady in big tournament, like the majors at least, especially on difficult courses. He's a grinder, but I don't see the benefit of playing him this week. As of now, unless he comes in, like if they position like 1% owned, yeah, but it's not going to happen.
All right, let's get the 7K range. 8K range was juicy. 7K range, especially the top end, is pretty juicy as well.
Love it.
I feel like every major, I'm like, oh my gosh, Paul Casey, 7,500, 7,700. And I just click them. I don't care. I'm like, well, that's an easy 7K guy to click and I don't even think about. And it doesn't really pay off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't pay off that much. But he rates out well in my model. 7,700.
Hold on,
I already auto clicked him for my initial build, so there's that. Then you got players like Answer, and then y'all are in love with
Off Daddy.
Y'all are in love with Zalatoris, so like the poor man Zalatoris is Neiman at 7,800. So there's. You have a great a great driver of the golf ball, and Sergio at 7,600. Like all these guys are traps. Like all the 7K range is nothing but traps, in my opinion.
I think the opposite. I love this range. I love it. So let me give you my
Yeah.
top.
I love it too. I'm just saying it's risky. They trap you.
Prices fade from the other week. Abe Answer. Love him. I love Neiman. Corey Connors at 7,600. I know his last outing was not that great, but the dude is always on the green, like we said. His putter's been the last 2 tournaments is what have been holding him back, and around the green he's not super good, but the dude is just locked in with his iron. So love Corey Connors and Wallace, and I'm going to give you another one here because Charlie.
Because it's you, and you just want to keep naming everybody
How
you
many is
can.
that? How many have I named?
Dude, you're at 5.
Keegan Bradley. Okay, I'm done.
All right, so Answer.
One more.
Do you have concerns with Answer that he's
5 guys from this range?
He's 106 on driving distance. Are you a little worried?
He had a long course 2 weeks ago, and he finished? 3rd,
4th,
4th. You know, I mean, it depends, right?
Who's better, Cam Smith or Answer? I mean, obviously $1,000 difference, but
Cam Smith's a better golfer.
By $1,000?
Yeah, look at how they've played.
What do you mean?
Cam Smith has been a fucking monster on tour for the last year.
Super good. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 top 25s his last 6 tournaments, and 2 top 5s his last 2. And then he has a myriad. I mean, he has 2 missed cuts in like his last 12, and he hasn't finished above a 40th, 35th since October of last year. He's been playing great.
I know. He's good. You know who else is rating out really good? The dude who fucked me last Sunday. Bubba.
Where is Bubba? I don't even see him on here. There he is.
7,500.
He's 25th in my model, so pretty good. His approach game's been shit.
I know, but he's so good off the tee.
Yeah.
He puts himself in the right spots. He can work it. If it's windy, he can go low. If it winds with him, he can go high and carry it. He can shape the ball. He can do whatever the hell he needs to do. His approach has been shit, and his putting is pretty mediocre.
Sounds like you're talking yourself into him.
His around the green game is also horrendous.
Well, yeah.
And if it's windy, I don't care if he can hit the ball low, because if he's not on the green, oof.
If it's windy, I want Matt Wallace all fucking day in this range.
Yes, I agree.
All day. Matt Wallace destroys hard courses. Now, the guy who's I don't know what to do with is Garrick Higo. Because y'all can't see it on Fantasy National, but look at him on DraftKings. Look at his last 5 tournaments played.
Well, who is this guy?
He's a Euro fucking stud, dude.
Oh, you're Euro guys.
Oh boy.
Look at his last 5 tournaments.
Peters Jr.?
He's been better than Peters. He has 3 top 4s in his last 4 weeks.
It's not bad.
He's been a monster. I don't know how to rate him in this tournament. But you know, we talk about you said you like shooters who have the hot hand, the good form.
Sure.
That's him. Now it's on a different tour, but
now it's also Sammy Burns at 7,500. Is his ownership gonna be too much to even look at?
I don't think he'll be that owned, to be honest.
Ooh, at 72.
It is a Pete Dye course price.
I know.
There's just so many guys right here.
The 7K range is so damn tough.
It is.
So
go to Grillo. Look at how he's played.
Grillo, Kokrak, Tringali.
Yeah.
Hoff Daddy.
Off Daddy, baby. Number 1 in our model, number 1 in our hearts.
I wish he saw the mullet.
I know. With the big cigar.
Yeah. Then you got some big hitters like Cam Champ.
No.
Matt Jones.
No.
Yeah, I mean
And it's something to at least consider because it's 8,000-yard course.
Kim Champ sucks.
Maybe.
He got lucky as shit to make the cut, and he did nothing all weekend. He's not good. He just hit the ball far.
Number one driving distance.
Okay. How's his game out of the rough? Because he ain't gonna hit the fucking fairway. I like Kokrak is probably my favorite cheap 7K guy.
What?
Him and Grillo are the top two for me.
What to say? Grillo.
Yeah, but you with Grillo is like me with Scheffler.
I know.
You know?
I know. Grillo pad.
All right, let's get down to the 6K range and start with Cam Davis, maybe?
He rates out good. Him and Palmer.
Yeah. I like Cam Davis play. I also like Ortiz.
Oh, Stewie Sink.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what about Sink up there? I know
you
he didn't
talk about driving distance. Old man River hits the piss out of the ball now.
True.
And what you like about him is his approach game's been
on point.
And talk about Price's guy from the Euro, like Tomas Peters.
He let
6,800.
I will say, so he missed a cut on the number.
Yeah. And
following him, he missed 5 putts inside of 6 feet. I know this because I was raging to Dustin about it fucking Thursday and Friday.
Lots of texts.
But so he rates out well. He's a guy who does well in majors. And I think after missing the cut, he might be a lot less owned because people are going to click Sportsal instead of him because Charles has been on fire lately.
Yeah, he is.
So I feel like people are just going to go that route and skip Peters. I mean, the rest is strange. So a lot of this range is just trash because you're going to have like the PGA qualifiers from all the clubs who get sent who like, there's no point. They're not going to make the cut. If they do, they won't do shit. Like Y.E. Yang, who doesn't matter. A bunch of the like Asia Tour, even a lot of the Euro Tour guys who don't matter. They're not going to do anything.
What about HV3? Down there at 6,600. I know he had the missed cut, but he had a second place before that, then a missed cut, then a 19th before that. He's just kind of one of those like fire and ice guys.
I don't want to go in this range very much, personally. I think if I'm going to, it's going to be Sink, Peters, Schwartzel, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's just intriguing to see a guy like that at 6,600. Kind of like, rates out pretty well. Has been.
Well, I guess we have to see what KH Lee is priced at whenever they add him to the pool. He might be a play, but
no Phil love this week.
No, I remember from first round leader to finishing 70th.
Yep, it's called being old.
Yeah,
shot a shot the first day.
But I think Sink's a played in this range.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's get to our next videos. We're going to be talking about the plays of the week and the fades of the week. So you want to check us out, go to dfsdads.com and let's make some money together. A lot of good contests on DraftKings. We are pumped. So should you. And we'll talk to y'all soon.